Welcome everybody to the Economist Talk Show. Today, we will be talking about the hot topics in today's economy. My name is Alex Asha. I also have a special guest here with us today. Some may know him as a chosen one, or others as a neighborhood economist, but today, he's here as Chuck. Chuck Norris, that is. Let's bring him out now.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
Good.
Good. Now, as you may know, the economy is in a bit of a downfall.
It really is.
So I was hoping you'd discuss some of the issues with us today.
Certainly, Alex, there is pros and cons to this subject matter. And many believe that the minimum wage is a simple, fair policy with broad public support that protects workers from exploitation and does increase the ability of working families to make ends meet. As you know.
I heard that.
Despite the effectiveness of the minimum wage, the federal government has failed to raise the minimum wage regularly to account for the rising cost of hiring. Because the cost of living has increased greatly in today's world, yet people still struggle even in today's world at $8 an hour. On the opposing side, people believe that minimum wage is terrible and a counterproductive policy. While it may appear that minimum wage helps the poor, it does not from this viewpoint. The case against the minimum wage is based on simple economics and so-called mounds of scientific evidence. The people who are against the minimum wage being raised, of course, often refer back to the simple example you might have heard of, Say you run a business. You make baseball hats, all different types, and you employ a large scale of minimum wage workers. Okay, so you sell your baseball caps worldwide. Then all of a sudden, the minimum wage is increased. Say you live in California, it's raised, and immediately you have to pay them more, which means the cost of producing these baseball caps costs more. So when these prices raise, it costs more for you to make your product, which makes you lose money.
Oh.
And say other places in the world, the minimum wage hasn't gone up. So when the minimum wage does not go up in other countries, they're producing their baseball hats for less money, but making more money than you are.
Oh. So
in that sense, you're losing money, you're losing your business, you might be out of business and on the streets tomorrow. So, that's something, that's what minimum wage is today, the pros and cons.
I see you make some excellent points. If you don't mind, can you go ahead and continue?
Well, sure, would you like me to give my opinion on minimum wage?
I would actually, that would be very helpful.
Sure, no problem. Well, what I think about minimum wage is, personally, I think it should be raised.
Oh, really?
I honestly believe that.
Why do you say this?
Well, I think it should be raised to the cost of living. Nowadays, you can't live off $8 an hour.
You really can't.
The world is a tough place to live in, and it's expensive nowadays. It should stay identical, the cost of living, with the minimum wage. Especially when the economy in a pitfall, like you said.
Yes.
We need to stand up and express our beliefs. We need our voices to be heard, because we are the biggest part of the economy.
We are. Wow, again, some great recognitionable points. If I could talk to you all day, I would, but sadly, I have to close the show.
All great things must come to an end.
They do. From everybody here at the Economist Talk Show, we would like to give you a warm thank you for joining us today. And tomorrow, we will have our local legend, Mr. Hepner.
I heard he's great.
Oh, he really is.
I heard he's great.
But for now, it's goodbye. Thank you, and remember, let your voice be heard.
Thanks, Alex.
Oh, it was a pleasure.